If you are listening to this podcast, it means you're searching for someone who understands you, someone who gets you. You are yearning to be understood and to belong. Welcome to the Someone Gets Me podcast, where we help smart, talented, and sensitive people navigate an often insensitive world. I am Dianne A Allen, your host. My roles as ambassador, author, speaker, and intuitive mentor for bright and talented people are woven into each episode. I have the experience and knowledge to educate and inspire, as I have been there and I understand your unique intensities, sensitivities, and challenges. Welcome. Singing in the rain. Friends, this episode today is about singing in the rain. It's about declaring and deciding how you're going to live your day. And remember, a string of powerful, empowered, uplifted days yields an abundant, joyous, well-lived life. Because see, there's trauma in the world out there, and we've all experienced it in different ways. And the difference between having a lot of pain and grief and trauma is that somebody who's experiencing trauma felt alone at some point or abandoned while that pain was happening. And so it's easy with the disconnect and all of the different things happening through the generations that the intergenerational transmission of pain has created kind of a heaviness and maybe like a little bit of a low feeling and maybe darkness. And so we really want to begin to take back our power as far as creative human beings. And so Singing in the Rain is a song that has a lot of fond memories to me. My parents were really great dancers. And often when my brother and I were small, we would go to this local rooftop kind of restaurant bar place that had live music. And my parents danced amazingly. And that song would sing, they would play that song and my parents would dance and it would be so beautiful and graceful. And you would watch the other famous dancers of the day dancing to this song and it was just beautiful. And so it's inspiring, right? So we have a choice, being uplifted and inspired or defeated. And so I want to invite you to begin to declare every morning which side of the fence you want to be on. Now, you can go back and forth all day long too, but when we make a decision, it changes things. Because decide means to cut out all other possibilities. So it's much more powerful than a good idea, or I think I'll try it, or I'll create a habit, all those things. You decide, this is how I'm going to roll today. So one of the ways I do it, because I'm highly intense, those of you who know me personally know that, and I feel things very deeply. So it's very easy for me to have that low energy kind of following me around. So I want to choose to be uplifted and inspired. So one of the things I do is when I first wake up in the morning, before I move out of bed, I smile. I consciously make my mouth smile, right? Like I'm excited because I'm awake. And then I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I use 3 because it is a powerful number. A triangle is the strongest shape. The Trinity is powerful. There's all kinds of 3s. And it feels complete when I say it that way. If I've said 4, I've tried 4 and only 2 or 1, and 3 to me resonates with my being. So you can test and see how many thank yous resonate for you. Then when I hit the ground, my feet hit the floor after that, I declare that on this day, I dedicate myself, and I fill in the blank. Sometimes I say to peace on earth, to love and kindness. Today, I dedicate myself so that my focus, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, is toward a higher good, a beneficial good for all, which is an uplifted or inspired thing. It's a decision. And by deciding with my cognitive self, my emotions and my spiritual self and my physical self have to come along because we're all connected. Everything's connected to everything. Because when I don't do that and I maybe wake up and feel the problems of the world or hear sad news or something's going on, or I tend to feel defeated sometimes because I really want to be a beneficial presence on the planet. And sometimes I look around and wonder if all the work myself and others are doing is valuable. I know it is, but sometimes we can look at it and go, well, I don't know. So we don't want to be defeated and focused on the problem. We want to be uplifted and inspired. So it takes a decision to do that. Because if we don't take control of that and make that inner decision so that our internal locus of control is radiating out inspiration, then what happens is the world around us takes care of those circumstances and influences us unduly on the inside. So we end up hearing the news or hearing bad news, or we're on social media, or we can just feel it in the air, whatever it is. And pretty soon we're repeating the negativity in our head and creating it for ourselves. And pretty soon we're feeling heavy or low or fearful. And in a fearful place, not only is our immune system compromised, but we don't get to show up with all the amazement and great and power and sovereignty that we could. And there's a lot of things happening in the world these days that I feel very deeply about and very passionate about. And I have moments where the depth of my feeling of the grief and sorrow is remarkable, and there are no words for it. And simultaneously, I allow myself to feel inspired for how can I be a beneficial presence in the face of this, whatever the darkness is or the real big challenges. So for me, it's not one or the other, it's a combination. Yes, you feel all your feelings deeply. Absolutely. And you honor them. And at the same time, getting stuck there holds you back and everyone else back. So we want to bring in and invite in an uplifted and inspired way of thinking, a way of being. And so it's kind of like having 100 units of energy every day, and you don't get any rollover units, right? And so you have to spend them. And are you spending your 100 units on joy and empowerment and inspiration and love or kindness or generosity? Or is it all on fear and worry and guilt and grief and heaviness? And so I venture the guess, I don't even know if it's a guess really, but I venture the idea that all of us spend some on all of it, past, present, future, like we're all doing these things. And so I think what's important is that we ask ourselves, what does it all mean to me? What's important to me really? Is all of these things I'm thinking about going to matter in 5 years? And begin to use our discernment and our ability to declare what it is we want to see and be in this world. Too much time, I think, people spend either, being out there in the future, worrying, which means for me, praying for something to go wrong. They've got all their attention in the future so far away, or they have all their attention in the past and they're full of regret and guilt or upset. I choose to say, okay, well, if I'm right here, right now, in this space, right now, what am I choosing? Am I choosing the light and not, am I choosing to be a beneficial presence? Am I choosing to inspire? Or is my choice more of we'll use the light dark analogy. There's more of a darkness, kind of a gray haze, maybe of sadness, maybe, or grief. Now I feel my emotions very deeply, and sadness and grief can take me over pretty quickly if I'm not careful. So I need to remind myself, choose it. What am I choosing? That does not mean that you don't feel the feelings. You can feel both. You can feel joy and happiness and gratitude and feel sad and guilt and grief or whatever at the same time and not be crazy. Our beings are multifaceted, gifted people, visionary people, intense, sensitive people can and do often feel a conflicting number of feelings at any certain time. And most of them don't even really have words that go with them because the English language is inferior when it comes to language for feelings. So life is happening, right, to you. It's happening to me. And we have a choice of how we frame it. We have a choice of what we let in and what we don't let in and how it works. We have a choice. So I say, let's declare it. Let's declare that we're singing in the rain because in so many ways, right now, it's raining all over the world. And everywhere you look, there's something happening. And some of it is just horrific. And some of it just confounds my even human understanding. And some of it's natural. Like I was looking on a website, my favorite website, Wonderground, and looking at hurricane things because I have so many friends in Florida. And I was looking at it and I saw a place where you could look at wildfires. And I said, what the wildfires are doing? And there were, in the usual suspect place in North America. But then I scrolled down. I allowed the map to go down to South America. And I was like, oh my word, there are enough little fire emblems on here. You can't even tell Brazil was there and Bolivia. Like some of these countries were totally covered up in little fires. But I wasn't hearing about it anywhere on the news. I just saw it on this map. And so there's all kinds of things happening out in the world. So we get to be that beneficial presence. We get to be that light in the darkness. We get to be the person that says, in the face of these things, in the face of the fire, in the face of the darkness, in the face of the trauma, in the face of the, that stuff, in the face of all of that, I can choose to be a beneficial presence and uplift myself and therefore the people and situation around me. Now, that's not denial and it's not masking. It is the ability to consciously make some choices that allow you to emerge through you beauty and goodness because it's in you even when you feel upset or sad or angry. And you can feel both, like I've said several times already, because sometimes I think we get so caught up in the linear world where it's A or B. And in some cases, that's true. However, in our mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical essence, we're very nuanced and we have a lot of pieces and moving parts within us and a lot of emotions and a lot of chemistry behind it. So, yes, you can feel them all at one time. Now, the definition of grief is a conflicting mass of human emotion following any significant change of behavior. So, if you have a conflicting mass of emotion happening and you've had a major significant change of behavior, then that feeling would be called, in our limited language, grief. So, conflicting masses of emotion happen. We get to choose how we approach it mentally and spiritually. So I like to think about inspired thoughts and inspired ideas. I like to think about those things. I like to invite them in, even when I'm feeling really sad or when I'm feeling really heavy or when I'm in a lot of pain, emotional or physical or mental pain, right? So rather than living defeated, it's just sitting in the rain on that bench, getting drenched, not moving. I'd rather be up dancing, singing in the rain. So I invite you, my friends, to allow joy to awaken you in the morning and receive that joy by saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then with a smile on your face, enter your day with joy. Joy is a state of being and it's our natural state. And so you can have all the different feelings during the course of the day you want to, and joy can be that state still. That's why it's important to declare what it is you're choosing each day. And remember this, there's no wrong answers. You can pick anything you want to, and you always can reserve the right to change your mind. If tomorrow you want to pick something differently, that's okay too. So the cool thing I think about it all is that we can look at the rain as something fun and exciting that we can sing in, even if it's thundering and lightning and it's kind of scary. We can also look at the rain as nourishing, right, from Mother Earth. And we can also look at the dark clouds and the lightning and thunder and look at the pain and the clearing and all different kinds of metaphors. And I think what is important for this episode, especially, is to remind ourselves that we have choice. We have choice of how we think. We have choice of how we feel, how we respond, how we physically handle things. We have choice. And it's important that we use our discernment in our choices. Everything from our food to the water to who we are, to the music we listen to the conversations we get in, to the thoughts going through our mind. Everything, we have a choice. So when you stand in your authority and you stand in your sovereignty, reminding yourself you have a choice, you can sing in the rain. You can still get wet. You can have both. So the answer is yes. So I invite you, friends, to come up with a really cool and exciting morning way to greet the day. Like for me, it's saying thank you 3 times with a smile on my face. And then when I get up and I've done brushing my teeth and everything and I'm getting ready for work, I always say, yes, yes, yes. Just say yes. Because I know that if I allow myself to be inspired, that yes will begin to show me the way for that day. And that's what really matters, is that we're paying attention moment by moment, day by day, that we're not spending too much time in the future or too much time in the past, that we're realizing that today, this day that you're listening to me, this day is meant for you to feel joy, stand in your sovereignty, and be of benefit for the highest good. That's the question. Is what you're saying and doing for the highest good of all concerned? Not just for you or not just for them, but is what you're doing and saying and acting like really for the highest good of all concerned? And if you can't say yes right away, if you have to even think about it, it's no. If you can't say yes right away, I suggest you stop for a minute and go within and really check your heart. Because if it's not for the highest good of all concerned, and that includes you, you're playing small. Because pride and anger and all those things, those are playing small. So let's step up. Let's let our lights shine. Let's allow ourselves to be the beacon of light in the rain and sing in the rain and not allow the heaviness of the world to defeat us, to honor everything that's happening and how we're feeling and still hold the high watch, still be that beneficial presence for ourselves and others. So start your day with a song and a thank you and a smile in whatever way serves you best. Friends, thank you for listening to Someone Gets Me today. I hope I inspired you, and I hope you're going to try some of the interesting things as a way to be inspired through our day. Remember to put your face to the sun every day so the shadows fall behind you, because you are a rock star. You're here on purpose. You have a purpose, and it's a mighty one. And so let's go out there and sing in the rain and let our light shine and stand in who we are as a beneficial presence, as a powerhouse of good in the world. Because remember, only light can eradicate the darkness. Martin Luther King Jr. said that, and I believe he was right. I will see you next time, and until the next episode of Someone Gets Me, be well. Are you tired of searching for someone to understand you? Join our Facebook group, Someone Gets Me. In this group, you will be able to connect with others who are intense, sensitive, smart, and talented. Uplifted. I share my insights and teachings, and you can connect with others in a real, authentic, safe forum. So join us today. Someone Gets Me.